Drivin Ivan here, about to take a quick drive in the Rolls-Royce Wraith Black Badge. Will I be impressed? Let's find out. Well, I'm going to start back here because I just think this is the coolest sort of angle on the car. It's Art Deco. It's modern, but at the same time it's classic.
It conjures up images of the Art Deco cars of the 30s and 40s.
Rolls-Royce's history goes back even much further than that. What a stunning car.
It's got large, aggressive alloy wheels, that big, bold Rolls-Royce grille, and of course, Emily, the Silver Lady, or Flying Lady, the Spirit of Ecstasy. The Spirit of Ecstasy was modeled after Eleanor Velasco Thornton, with whom John Walter Edward Douglas Scott, an early pioneer of the automotive movement, was having an illicit secret affair. Quite a story, and quite an automotive icon, too.
It just reeks of luxury and style, and in the case of this Black Badge edition, also speed and aggression. It's a little bit more aggressive than most other Rolls-Royces. This one is for a special, maybe younger buyer, and Rolls-Royce is hip to that, and so they made the Black Badge, and here you go. It's a stunner. I really think this is one of the coolest things about the Rolls-Royce Wraith is the suicide door. Just so awesome. They got rid of them back in the day because people were getting stuck in them if the car door accidentally opened, but safety is so much better now that they're back in fashion and they're back in vogue. Very, very, very cool. Inside, of course, is all the opulence you'd expect from a Rolls-Royce. Check out the black and white design that just flows all the way across. Some red stitching in there. Huge infotainment screen, just totally beautiful. Beautiful gauges. Every detail in the car is just, well, it's a Rolls-Royce, of course, but wait, the best thing about it you haven't seen yet. Are you ready? Yeah, that's right. Look up and you've got the stars up there. That is so incredibly cool. Only in a Rolls-Royce. So awesome. Okay, so it's time to take off in the Rolls, and of course you have a push button start. Let's do it. Here we go. You can barely hear it. That's right. Of course you can barely hear it. It's a V12. It's smooth as silk. It's got an air suspension, and it's not about voracious, loud, crazy speed like maybe the Dodge Hellcat, which I reviewed. Check that review out elsewhere. But this is a Rolls-Royce, and it is a sophisticated British car. And what I like about it is you put it in gear the same old way. Look at that. On the column. So cool. It's old school. You get a 6-speed transmission, and notice no shifters here on the column, no shifter down here. This is a Rolls-Royce. You don't talk about speed. It's just not proper. Sure, it's fast. It's amazingly fast, but it's just not proper to talk about it. That's Rolls-Royce's philosophy. So therefore, no paddle shifters and no sort of shifting it yourself. But if you want luxury and style, it's got it in spades. Don't worry, out back there's plenty of opulence too. And seating for two, just. Power comes from a V12 engine, and not that you care, but it gets 12 miles per gallon in the city, 19 on the highway, and 15 overall. The numbers you do care about are horsepower, 624, but guess what? There's even more torque, 642 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 16 about the mid-4s, onto a top speed that I believe is limited to 155, but if not, it would be close to 200 miles an hour for sure. Popping the trunk, and it is, of course, cavernous. Just look at those exhausts, absolutely huge. So there's a normal size backpack, and you can see how much extra room there is. Don't worry, you can take the whole family in your roller. So you want to close the door, do you? But it's all the way over there. Don't worry, darling. Just press this button and hold it. Anything else would be totally unsophisticated, and we won't have that. Shh, listen. This is my initial driving impressions of the Rolls-Royce Wraith Black Badge. It's just quiet. It's a Rolls-Royce, you know, and it's all about luxury. It's truly one of those amazing cars, and it's legendary because of this quietness. It's legendary because it's British. It's legendary because they never used to post horsepower figures and things like that. It was just enough. Adequate, darling. You don't need to ask, because it's just fast enough. And 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds is definitely fast enough. I have a Citroen CX wagon. It's actually pink. You got to see this thing. Check out my review of that. But Rolls-Royce actually licensed this air suspension from Citroen at a time, because it's the Magic Carpet Ride suspension, and Rolls-Royce has now made it their own, and it's just one of their trademarks. You can buy a lot of very expensive cars these days, but this Rolls-Royce ride is why people buy it, and successful people love these cars. It doesn't matter what walk of life you come from, because the Rolls-Royce has been an icon for longer than most any other car out there. They have a true history, and from the Silver Ghosts to actually the Silver Shadow, unlike my granddad actually had back in the day. My granddad was a Cadillac guy. He only bought Cadillacs. He could afford anything you want, but he just bought Cadillacs. I said, why are you buying Cadillacs? He said, they're the best. My granddad loved to have the best, and that was the best at the time. But late in his life, he did go out and buy a Rolls Royce, because I think he realized Cadillac kind of changed their ride philosophy, and they used to have this sort of magic carpet ride, but Rolls Royce is the one now. They have it. It's a drive unlike any other. The steering, power steering, it's weighted, but at the same time, it's soft. I don't know how they do it. It's just that great combination. It doesn't feel like it's going to be all over the place. It feels like it's got a sporty ride and handling, but at the same time, it's just soft. When you push it, when you get into the corners, or if you mash the throttle, oh my God, you just got to hang on for dear life, because it is fast. If you're looking for a sport mode, no, you're not going to find it. You're not going to find paddle shifters, like I said, but what you are going to find is that you just have one driving mode. Why? Because that's all you need. You've got a heads-up display. Very nice. But just look at this. When you get into it here, it just throws you back in the seat, and it just growls. It's only a 6-speed automatic transmission, but don't worry. Back in the day, Rolls-Royce's transmissions came from General Motors, because General Motors made a very nice transmission back in the day. But nowadays, Rolls-Royce is owned by BMW. BMW knows how to keep a brand. In fact, when they sold the Rover group, they actually kept the Mini, because they know that's a hot seller. And to have BMW as a parent company, it's okay. Don't worry. This Rolls-Royce has not lost its Britishness. I don't think for a second it has. Now, so check this out, the backup camera. Of course, it's directional. It's going to move when you move the steering wheel. But wait, press this, and look. You get an all-around view, or you can have the normal view. Very nice. Don't worry, Rolls-Royce has thought of everything. Or you want to know how much it costs? Of course you do. Well, it starts at $315,000, but come on. No one's going to buy a $315,000 Wraith. They're just not. This is the black badge version, so it's actually $420,000. It's got a ton of options. The black badge in and of itself is about a $45,000 option, and there's plenty of other options that get you to $420,000. But don't worry, it's not going to be a purchase that you regret, because everything you need in this car, from safety to speed to luxury, I mean, just look at those push-button doors, for God's sakes. This one has it. It's got everything you need, and you will arrive in style. There's a great song, and it goes something like this. Don't need a roller or a limousine. Don't need my picture in a magazine. Great song, and you know, you don't need a roller. Of course you don't. He's talking about all I need is you. It's Paul Carrick. I need you. But you do need a Rolls-Royce. Ultimately, if you can afford one of these cars, I really don't know why you wouldn't. Because yeah, there are faster cars out there, and yes, there are cars that do different things. There are luxury SUVs these days. You can get a Bentley Bentayga. Check out my review of that one. But just the Art Deco shape of this, and just the attention to detail, the suicide doors, the 12-cylinder engine, the ride, the smoothness. It's all you need. And trust me, you definitely need it. Yes, I'm impressed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and also check out my Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe to me on YouTube. Check out all my other videos, all my music videos, all my Drivin' Ivan car videos, disc golf videos, documentaries, you name it. Check them all out. But man, I love driving this Rolls Royce. I'm Drivin' Ivan.